G'day guys, I'm AT5 here and today I'll be reviewing Sniper Elite 3. So Sniper Elite 3 is a third-person sniping simulator shooter developed by Rebellion, which I reviewed on the PlayStation 4. And you play as Carl Fairburn, an American sniper who is fighting the Nazis in the beautiful sands of Africa. And that's it, really. Seriously. Sniper Elite 3 is just one of those games that doesn't put a lot into its story and character. All you need to know is what you gotta do, who you gotta kill, and even a map of the area to plan your actions. This kind of game design may put off some at first who are looking for a story and a real character, but when you start playing you finally realize that, it's more about the sniping and the playstyle you choose. Before I get into the gameplay, I just wanted to say that the graphics and the locations are beautiful. Sure, the detail of the graphics isn't anything amazing, but the setting of the hot desert with a smooth frame rate and graphics, it makes for a very pretty game and it feels like the hot sands of Africa. Okay, so let's talk about the main highlight of the game, and of course that's the sniping. If you didn't happen to know that. This game could be a total fail if the sniping mechanics weren't top notch, but I'm happy to say this is the best sniping game I've ever played. Sniping takes all kinds of different things into effect for when you're lining up that perfect shot. Distance, wind direction, body stance, and even your heart rate are all in effect for every single shot you take. Of course, this depends on the difficulty you choose for the game. More difficult modes have all of these in effect, where more easier modes may not have wind direction to affect your bullets. Besides sniping, you do get a choice of a variety of pistols and machine guns, which, to be honest, the only real useful sidearm I found was the silenced pistol. It may have been a single shot pistol, but it was enough to save me plenty of times while I was stealthing. As well as sidearms, you get a pretty much the same selection of equipment from the last game, from trip mines to grenades, and you're able to choose which ones you want to use before you go out on a mission. The sniper rifles are also customizable, and these can be found by searching enemies in the game. They aren't incredible, but it's a nice touch to have. If you did happen to play Sniper Elite V2 like I did, you're going to feel right at home with this game because mainly the mechanics and the gameplay are the same. But of course, Sniper Elite 3 improves on everything by adding more gameplay variety, large open levels, and more deadly X-ray kill shots. V2 introduced the X-ray vision bullet time shot, in which you get to watch as your bullet travels towards your target and shows you in graphic detail the damage your bullet is doing to the human body. And of course, in this installment, more detail has been added to this, which you can see in high detail as your bullets shred through bones and organs. This is indeed very graphic and is the most violent aspect of the game, but if you really don't want to watch it, luckily you do have the option to skip this by pressing X as it's happening. Besides the violent aspect of it all, it's actually really interesting to see what a bullet can do to a human body, and this kind of thing is never really seen in games, but love it or hate it, this is now a Sniper Elite stigma. They even added X-ray vehicle kills, which show an inside look of the vehicle before it blows, which is a nice added touch. So the game also expands on other aspects. Each level is now large and open, in which you can explore, take different routes, and play your own style. This is very different from the linear gameplay found in Sniper V2, and I think it's very welcome. Exploring can be rewarding, being able to find snipers' nests and other great areas to take advantage of, and to get the drop on enemies. Stealth is also heavily emphasized in this game, and often encourages you to do it, and I thought it was quite detailed. Stealth is based on how loud you are, how visible you are, and if you fire a weapon without any noise masking it. It can be very satisfying sneaking in the shadows, pulling off close-up silent kills, or taking it one sniper shot at a time with each shot being blocked out by noise. Often levels are filled with some sort of noise from generators, machineries, explosions, or even aeroplanes flying overhead. All of these are used to your advantage as they mask your shot, and is the only way to take down enemies silently, since there is no silencer for rifles in this game. I actually really loved the challenge. This requires patience and exploration to find these noises to use to your advantage, and then taking it one shot at a time and nobody even knows you're there. Of course, you can always go in sniper blazing, picking off enemies one by one. It's dangerous, but it can be done, and if you're fast enough, you can even get back into hiding if you wanted to. The relocation feature is so useful. If you happen to fire one shot that enemies hear, they will look for you, and if they don't find you, they will go back to their positions. Fire a second shot, however, and they will come down on you with all their force. Taking a bit of inspiration from the Splinter Cell series, a ghost of your last known position is seen, and from there you can run and hide and wait for enemies to lose you and stop looking for you, giving you the opportunity to go back into stealth. I found that getting spotted wasn't the worst thing in the world, as I could just hide and wait for them to lose me and I'd go back into stealth. So since the game has very little in terms of story and character development, you would think that the gameplay would be very top notch, right? Unfortunately, no. The enemy AI in this game is bad. I mean, really quite terribly bad, like stupidly bad. I had so many different occasions with bad AI in this game, from enemies getting stuck, to running clear in the open while being shot at, and actually burning themselves to death. Yes, that actually happened. A couple of times. And I found the fact that they can so calmly go back to normal after knowing that there's a sniper around in the area is so unrealistic. And also, this was a problem that I had with the last game. The accuracy that the enemies have with machine guns is crazy. I mean, for you, using a machine gun is so impractical and inaccurate half the time, but they are able to hit you from 100 yards. Besides the terrible AI and a few noticeable glitches, the game also crashed on me a couple of times, usually when I was doing an X-ray kill. And the other thing that really bothered me is the sound masking. Sometimes it didn't work. At times, I was sitting in the same spot, taking it one shot at a time, waiting for the sound to come back over and over, and sometimes it wouldn't work. The sound would happen, but the icon at the top of the screen wouldn't show up, hensing that it doesn't count, and then I get spotted. It may not be the worst thing in the world, but when you're trying to stealth as much as possible, it can become very frustrating. There is also online multiplayer and two-player co-op for this game, but unfortunately I was unable to test out the co-op, but it sounds like a great idea. The online multiplayer, however, is actually quite a bit of fun, if you enjoy camping. There is your usual modes from Team Deathmatch to Free-for-All, but there are also two unique modes, which are Distance King and No Cross. The way you win Distance King is being the player to have the longest kill shot in the game, which is an interesting mode and great for a sniping game. And No Cross is pretty much Team Deathmatch, but you are unable to come in contact with the other team, but instead you're left to snipe for your life. This is a sniper's fantasy, as it takes skill, patience to play this mode, and when you finally do spot someone for other players or get a kill is a very satisfying experience. So I actually found the multiplayer not to be a complete flop. It was actually a fair bit of fun, even though it's mostly a camper's game, but I can see myself going back to it in the future. So overall, I really did enjoy this game, despite its flaws, of course. Sure, the AI is laughable and unfair, and the game is filled with bugs and glitches, and even invisible walls, but I ended up overlooking most of this because I had such a great time. Sniping in video games is just one of those really unique and satisfying gameplay elements, and I think this game absolutely nailed it, especially if you happen to like watching your bullets shred through people. It's quite satisfying. Sure, most of the game is kind of same old from the last game, but it's still awesome. I mean, sure, it would have been really nice to, have like a really interesting war story, and, a really interesting character, but, maybe they can do it for the next game, who knows? I mean, look at Wolfenstein, you don't expect a game like that to have such great characters and story, so it can work. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give Sniper Elite 3 a 7.5 out of 10. This is probably one of the best sniping experiences you can have, especially on next-gen consoles, even if it's a buggy experience. Just to let you guys know, I got a recommendation on my Facebook page to review the Sniper Elite Zombie campaign, but unfortunately I couldn't do it this time around because my net is about to go over. It resets at the end of the week, but if I download it now, it would sort of, run up my net and then my net would go slow. So yes, I will be reviewing Sniper Elite Nazi Zombie 1 and 2. And if you guys happen to have any recommendations, go over to my Facebook page and, leave me a recommendation. I do look into every single one, and I think I've done about 3 recommendations so far. I'm getting Dynasty Warriors for the PlayStation 4, which was recommended to me, and I'm getting Sniper Elite, so there you go. So did you guys like Sniper Elite 3? What did you think of the sniping experience overall, and do you have any funny AI bug stories? And if you like this video, remember to like me on Facebook or subscribe to me on YouTube if you want to see more. I recommend that you go and check out my Facebook page and leave some recommendations, because I like to get you guys involved. Alright guys, thanks for watching my review, and until next time, MAT5 is bloody out of here.